What are you doing? I see you. Okay, so get the agua. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're just in my kitchen. So as you saw from the title, this is like everything that I wish someone told me about like postpartum. And if you don't know, postpartum is after the baby comes out, that's postpartum. Anything that happens after that. You say hi? Hi.
Sorry.
You're sorry?
Hello. Hi, you guys.
Hi guys.
I just got bowl. I just got candies and candy
Oh wow, that's a lot of stuff.
and makeups. Here, use makeups.
Oh, thank you. Use makeup. Thanks. Mommy's not gonna do makeup today. Oh, wow. Oh, I look beautiful. Thank you, big boy.
What do you look? Oh, sorry.
Oh, wow.
There.
Okay, guys, sorry. So, postpartum is what happens after birth, the process of healing and everything. So these are just some things that I wish someone told me about it. And it's not to scare you, and this is only my personal experience. I've given birth naturally. Well, not naturally, because naturally is no drugs. I definitely signed the papers before I even got to the hospital to have epidural. Like, bring it on in. But I had 2 vaginal births. I didn't have C-section, so I can't speak for C-section moms or, you know, postpartum healing or anything like that. Only my personal experience. So if you don't agree or you had a different birth or postpartum, then everyone's different. It happens, but this is just my personal experience that I wish I knew was a thing, you know? Give me a second. Okay, sorry. The boys are watching Ralph Breaks the Internet, so it's the only way I can film or do anything. So, my first birth was way different than my second birth, just because like I mean every birth is different, just I knew kind of what to expect. Even though having Elijah was way harder than having Camilo, but having Camilo was definitely scarier in the sense of like, well, what happens? Like, what's next? What's, you know, like my doctor at the time, who I ended up switching when I was probably like 30 weeks because I changed insurance. But he was like an older guy. And when I first went to him at, you know, to make sure I was pregnant, like 6-7 weeks or something, he said like, don't do a birthing class. He was like, I hate when you're in the delivery room and you're telling me what to do. And he's like, you may think you know what because you learned it in a class. He's like, but I've delivered like 1,000 babies or whatever. And he was like, so I'll tell you what to do. And I was like, okay. And like, I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong. That was just his practice. I switched insurances and I switched doctors just because he was very obviously old school. So I had no birthing class. No, I didn't watch videos. I like literally like, he told me, he was like, if you want to get scared, watch videos. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. So I tried not to, you know, I watched like movies of like in movies when like you're pushing out babies and all that. But so after like I delivered Milo, I was like, okay, I'm done. Yes, like it's over, you know? And then they were like, okay, time to deliver the placenta. I was like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean I need to deliver the placenta? They're fighting, hold on. Sorry guys, it's just been one of those days. So I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm done. Like, the baby's out. Like, that's it. And they were like, no, like, you deliver your placenta. And I was like, what the fuck? So literally, by the time they delivered the placenta, my epidural was like non-existent. So like, I could feel everything. And it literally, like, you're literally like I mean, it feels like, and the only thing that I can like kind of put a correlation with is like when you see a magician and he's like pulling out like handkerchiefs and they're all attached and he just keeps on going and keeps on going and keeps on pulling and you're like, when's it gonna end? That's what it feels like, but in your vagina. It's fun. Like, it's very fun, you know, and like it is not fun. And it is way messier in my opinion than the actual birth. And I was like, no one told me. So with Elijah, like I knew, like obviously didn't think about it when I was pregnant with Milo, like, okay, there's a placenta, like they always were like, we're measuring the placenta and this and that, and your placenta's good and your umbilical cord's good and this and that. But like, I didn't think like, oh, it has to come out too. Or I didn't think it came out with the baby, or like, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's not something that I thought about pregnant. So you definitely have to deliver your placenta. And they were like, do you want to see it? I was like, no, thank you. And I hear some people like eat it. Like, that's your thing, go for it. Good for you. Not, I was like, just get rid of it, throw it away, do whatever you got to do with it. But so the next thing that I wasn't prepared for was like, I saw all the memes and everything about like how, oh, after birth, like you wear a diaper. So it's like a makeshift diaper. It's like mesh underwear. And I mean, when you first give birth, they literally take an XL size doggy pee pad, fold it, put it on you. Literally, it went from my belly button all the way up my back. Okay, imagine that, okay? Belly button to like all the way around, folded with the mesh underwear. Like literally, I think a diaper would be more comfortable, honestly, because it's like made to like fit, and the mesh was like loose and it kept on sliding, and it was just like not fun. But like, you literally, like, they're not joking when they say like you're pretty much wearing a diaper, because you're really wearing a doggy pee pad. And then they give you, after like the first couple hours, then they give you like regular pads. They're like super long pads, but like still, like it's not enough. Like you're constantly changing it. And like, I was so worried, like, is it holding? Is it leaking? Is it like what's, cause like you're just sore down there. So like, I was like, is that like, what, like what, I don't know what I didn't know at the time what I was feeling. I just knew I was very uncomfortable. You know, you're tired, but you're also so obsessed with this new baby that you just shoved out, you know what I mean? So it's like, but you're literally, I wish they would just give you a diaper. It would honestly just be easier. That's another thing, okay? Like after Milo, I had pads at home, because the doctor was like, you're gonna need pads, absolutely no tampons. And I was like, okay, but I just bought like regular pads. Like, I went from the hospital, I had to go and buy like overnight, like grandma poise, like the giant ones that once again went from like the front of your underwear all the way up your butt, you know what I mean? And it's like, so make sure, like, no one told, like, they just said get pads, they didn't tell me. Like, I thought the memes that were like, oh, like, you wear diapers after you give birth, I'm like, okay, like, whatever. But like, no, looking back at both of my postpartum recoveries, like, I should have just bought diapers. Like, why not? You know, it just made it a lot easier. So no one told me you needed like the giant pads or diapers. And I'm sure some moms do it, because in my mom groups, people say like, no, I legit went and bought Costco box of diapers, like adult diapers. And another thing that nobody told me was after birth, right? They were like, okay, a nurse is like, after like they put on the diaper, they did all of that. They were like, okay, a nurse is gonna come in and do, they called it different things, okay? They called it abdominal massage. They called it uterus massage. But every time they called it something, it had the word massage in it. Now, I have gotten a lot of massages, okay? Love massages, especially when I was a hairstylist on my feet. like 14-hour days, like my days off, I would go get like an hour or two massage. So I was like stoked, like, yes, this is why birth costs so much. They have someone come in and give you massages. Nope. They lie. It's a fucking lie. Don't let the word massage fool you, because there's nothing about that horror that feels good. They literally are taking, now, if you're a skinny person, maybe it's different for you. I'm obviously not. They're like squeezing my fat on my stomach and pushing down as hard as they can. What they don't tell you is that they are pretty much, when you're pregnant, all your intestines and organs and everything in that area get moved, okay? And your uterus expands like, I don't know how many times, right? Like a bunch of times, because it's like this big and then it has to fit a fucking baby, right? That's growing. So the massages are to help your uterus contract back to its original size. And when that contracts, then all your muscles and your organs and your intestines all go back to where they should go. So this nurse is like pushing and like making shit move. It's not a massage. Shouldn't call it massage, because I was very excited, and very instantly, as soon as she started, I knew like, I'm not gonna like this. This is they lied to me. So I just wish someone prepared me for that, because you're already super uncomfortable. You're already bleeding. You're already like trying to latch a baby. Your boobs hurt. You know, your body, like you're tired. You're just drained. And then someone's coming and saying they're giving you a fucking massage. No, just tell us what it really is, you know? That's the part that upset me the most about postpartum, is no one told me that, you know? And the last thing that I want to touch on about your postpartum, especially in the hospital, is the first night. And like I said, I can only speak for myself, but the first night they're bothering you. Like, well, with Milo, I had preeclampsia, so I had to get my blood drawn every 2 hours. I think it was every 2 or 4 hours. I don't remember, but I had to get my blood drawn constantly. To check my blood, to check proteins and platelets and all this shit. I don't know. Like, there was a bunch of stuff wrong with me, with Milo, and like my blood pressure was super high, so they gave me medicine, and they were just always checking me. With Elijah, they checked me too, but not as much. But they're coming in like every 2-3 hours, and to make sure that you're like waking up to feed the baby. So the first night they're doing that. And it's like nonstop, like them like helping you like get up and like, what do you need? And then the second night that I was there, it was like ghost town. Like fucking ghost town. Like nobody bothered me. Like they would come in maybe like every 4 or 5 hours, like, hey, what time did you feed the baby? And I'm like laying in bed, like with a titty out, a baby attached to one, another boob out, and I'm like trying to look at the clock, because the clock's like in front of the bed, and I'm just like dead, fucking dead. Nobody cared that if I was alive or not, you know what I mean? Like the first night they were like on your ass, and I was like, oh my god, I hate this. And then the second night, like it's like they didn't care. And I'm not saying they didn't care. I understand that the first day is harder on your body, and they want to make sure that you're like prepared and like mentally okay, and not like so exhausted to take care of the baby. And they'll come in and help you a lot more with latching. But once you get that down, they want you to bond and to really like start to connect and figure out on your own, because when you go home, there's no nurses, you know? But I just wish someone prepared me, because the second night I was so lonely. Like I was so lonely, because the first night they wouldn't leave me alone. So Henry left. Like I was like, just go home, because like they just kept on coming in, and I was like, you can't sleep, I can't sleep. Hearing you sleeping annoys me, you know what I mean? And like he doesn't have boobs, obviously. So I was like, just leave me alone. Like I love, like if I'm annoyed or I'm tired or like just exhausted, like I just want to be left alone, because if you wake me up or you're trying to talk to me or like ask, like it's not gonna happen. So I was like, get the fuck out of here. But then the second night, I thought it was gonna be the same as the first night. So I like was like, don't even bother, like just go sleep at home, I'll see you in the morning. And then at night I was like, wow, I'm really fucking lonely, you know? Like no one prepares you for that loneliness the second night in the hospital, because it's like you're there with this baby, And it's like, I loved Camilo and I loved Elijah, but it's like so quiet, you know, and it's like so like you're sore and you're tired, and then someone's just coming in like, okay, what time did you do this? Okay, bye. And I'm like, hi, talk to me, you know? So I just wish that these were some things that like I knew before going into it, just so I was like mentally prepared. And like I could have brought like a book, or you know what I mean, or you know, made like a playlist on my phone or something, you know what I mean, just to be prepared. And like as far as like the abdominal massages, like to have like a stress ball or something to squeeze would have really helped me. Like I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but you know, squeezing something always helps, you know, just, and having those giant pads at home, because I literally had to go to the store because Henry went and he like called me like, okay, what am I buying? And I'm like, the biggest ones. And he came home with like regular, and I'm like, and he's like, well, it's the biggest box. And I'm like, okay, it's a 3-month supply. Like I don't need a 3-month supply. I need the biggest fucking pads. Like I need a fucking diaper, you know? So it's like, I had to go to the store. It's like, these are just things that I wish I had known going in. And this is not to scare anybody. This is not to make you be scared of giving birth. It's just so that you, like I said, can mentally prepare and be aware, because it's scarier personally to not know. Like having Camilo was way scarier, not knowing, okay, what's next, what's happening, what's this, what's that. With Elijah, it was scary because his heart rate was dropping and everything. That was a different kind of scary. But with Camilo, not knowing like scared me. So hi. So thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. Let me know down below what you want to see next, and we will see you next time.
I'll see you next time.